Hey folks, Quisimall Designs here, and this is part 6 of the Tamiya 1/35th scale M4A3E8 tank build. Hey guys, look, we got a tank. It's pretty much done. The main body is all put together now, the tracks are on, but still a few things needing to be done. We obviously got the 50 cals to put on, the 30 cal, the Pioneer tools, the figures, and all other bits and bobs, yet to needing to go on, but we're pretty much there. I showed the wife last night and she goes, "Oh, you're done." And then, she looked at all the parts and goes, "Oh, you're not done." It was actually kind of funny. At first glance, think you're done. And then you're just wondering why there's still a big, pile of parts on the desk, kind of like, you're not done. But it was actually kind of cute. Anyway. But yeah, it's looking really good. I worked hard all weekend on the tracks. We're going to get into that. I didn't break a single one coming off the sprue, and then I broke about 10 putting them together. Odd. I thought for sure I'd be breaking these things coming off the sprue, and then I ended up breaking, you see the pile in the background there? I broke those trying to put them on, the track, putting them together. I'll get into that, in a bit. But anyway, still a few things that obviously yet to go on. The clear parts I'm going to be putting on next, because I think for detailing, as far as, putting slop on the tank, I think we're done. So I'm going to be putting the clear parts on, the next. And there's the name of the tank. We called it Knockout. I thought that was a cool name. Now that decal there is, well, that's exactly what it is. It's a decal. If you're wondering, hey, that looks familiar. That's actually a 1/4/8 scale decal from the B17 Knockout dropper. So I just took out the dropper and put Knockout on there. It's on the opposite side of the barrel too. I thought that would be kind of cool just to put Knockout. So that's the name of the tank. It's called Knockout. So what you're looking at here as far as the frame goes, this is just an cheap IKEA frame. It's actually pretty solid. It's even more solid now that I got this stuff down. But actually, I just left the glass in, and on the inside of this frame is actually a wooden frame that supports the glass. So this is actually pretty strong. And what I've done is this stuff here, you can get it in clear or white. I actually just had this kicking around the house, and this is white, and seems I'm doing like an early winter, late fall scene. I thought, whatever, white's fine. And I just, gooped this thing all over, the base here, other than the edges, and spread it all over. And then left room for the tracks, which I'll show you in a minute here. And then decided where I wanted my trees, and then, because I had this, basic cloud covering the whole area, plopped my trees down where I wanted them. And then I sprinkled this forest-based stuff. Again, this is late fall, early winter stuff. I took off the label. The label was ripped, so I couldn't even tell you. I know when I ordered it from B&A, it was like the late fall, early winter stuff. But anyway, that's what you're looking at right here. And then I, put it all over so it stuck to this stuff really well. And then I sprinkled my, actually before I did that, what I did was I took my Elmer spray glue, sprayed it all over, obviously covering my edges because I don't want the spray glue in here. And then I drizzled my snow over top. And then that was the end result. But I left room for the tracks, which I'll show you in a bit. But that was the result. And then, of course, I took my brush and kind of dabbed it all over the place right here just to make room, or make it look worn right here, this area here, because this is, going to be like a trafficked area where, my guys are going to be, right? Because, where people walk, snow is turned up. So if you're wondering why this area doesn't have much snow, it's because this is where the guys are going to be. And that right there is a fire pit. And I actually made room and hidden a wire in there, under here. And this will accommodate a 9-volt battery. And there's actually a yellow light bulb in there, which I'll light up when the reveal comes. And I don't know if you can see it, but I actually put some yellow and red cellophane that's sticking up. So when the yellow light bulb turns on, that will actually look like a fire. So I have those guys that are going to be standing here. One's eating, one looks like he's cooking something over top of fire. And of course the wire is hidden underneath all this forest base, and the light bulb, or sorry, excuse me, the light bulb, right, is underneath there, and the battery itself is hidden within this frame. So that'll look cool once the reveal happens. So just to take you on a little bit of a tour around here, as you can see, I made room for the tracks, make it look like the forest has been turned up. But not too much, right? Because the ground is relatively cold and frozen. Now, if you look right here, actually, I'm going to try and take this tank off here without dropping it. Actually, you know what? I'm not going to. I'm just going to leave it on there. Now, for these right here, what I'd done is I took the tracks, the rubber tracks that I'm not using. Now, when I originally laid the this quick seal, right? I just used the rubber tracks that came with the kit, and I put them in there. I measured, put them in there, and then I lifted them up. So I knew exactly where I wanted my tracks to be, right? So that's why these tracks are covered in gook. And then when it came time for the spray glue, before I put the snow down, I put these back in. So I didn't want spray glue in my tracks area. And then I put the snow down, and then I lifted these up. And then I made my, my slurry, I guess you can say, when I use my Optilong paints. This stuff right here. And then I just dab it all around where my, my tracks are going. And then that creates that mud effect, right? And then when it hardens or dries, it looks hard. Because I'm going for that frozen look, right? And then of course I put some in here with some soot, so that looks like it, the fire has melted some of the snow, and that hardens. And then I don't know if the light will catch it. Let's see here. If you look inside the tracks, I use that Vallejo, this stuff right here. This mud and grass. If you look at the tank, you're going to see it kind of all over the tank a bit. And I shoved it before I put the tracks on, and before I closed up the tank, I kind of put it all over and inside the tracks, or the road wheels, and some in the tracks a bit after I built the tracks. But before I put the tank together, I put it in the road wheels and stuff. Now, this is the first time I've ever used this stuff, and all over the tank. Obviously, this simulates where the tank has been, not where it's going through. Let's see if I'm going to see if the light will actually pick it up. I'm going to move the light a bit. There we go. And then, of course, I threw some snow in there too. Now, this simulates where the tank has been, right? And then, of course, it got cold, and then, everything just stuck where it is. Now, when this stuff dries, it's hard. This stuff here. There's no getting this stuff off. Like, once it's in your, I might be able to scratch it off, there or wherever else. But in the wheel wells, there's no getting this stuff out. This stuff dries like plaster. And this is my first time using it. I like this stuff, actually. This stuff's great. So, anyway. So I got all that in the wheel wells, and, kind of willy-nilly all over the tank where, mud would fly. See, in here. And then once I, put the tracks together, and then I kind of put it, there, and then, all over where mud would go. Trying to see where else I put it. Big mud goop there. Some on the top of the turret, where obviously we might have stuck to someone's boots and such. So I'm pretty happy with that. And then, of course, the popsicle stick is, there now. See if we can get, there we go. So that's in position now. And that turned out really well. So now I can put, you know, the spare road wheel there and some spare track and such. Now, talking about the tracks, if you do make mistakes, or, you know, when I put it together, I ended up breaking some. The fit of this stuff here is not bad. I've had better. The fit on some of them was good on some of the pieces, and the fit on some pieces weren't. I don't know. So all in all, I did get it, and it works well. And luckily, I still have a lot of spares. You know, that's it. That's all I got for spares. Those are the ones that didn't break. And then obviously back there, those are the ones that did break. So, and that's being gentle with each and every one. So with those ones there, those are the ones I'm going to put on the side. See where those little holes are on the side? Those are the ones I'm going to use for, you know, putting here, 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 and here, instead of using the kit ones. And then obviously I still got lots of those extra pieces for here. So obviously for this here, what I've done for those pieces, I just sprayed them in like the metal, and then I used my Tamiya light rust or sorry, not Tamiya, my Alptalong light rust and dark rust. And I didn't really wait for that to dry because I didn't want it to dry too much. I didn't mind my fingers getting, you know, rusty, I guess you could say, because I wanted it to have that real look. So the more I played with it and, you know, wiped it off, it kind of gave you that metal look, you know. So that turned out really well. And then of course the end result is that. So you get the tracks, and then the rubber tracks, and you know, the kind of the rusted out metal look. And then I went, obviously I had two different types of tracks. I had the T80 and T84, and then I wanted the rubber, you know, went with the rubber ones. Because obviously I want the tank to be like not so much resupplied, almost like, you know, hey guys, you gotta go, we don't have time to supply, you just gotta go take what you can and go. So anyway, moving on to this stuff here. Now I am gonna go with the 30 cal from this kit right here, just because it has the actual proper mount for the tank, as were the one I bought like with the kit, little bag that you seen in the last video. It doesn't have the proper, it has the mount for like the tripod, but not for the tank. So I'm going to go with the one with the kit. And then the brass in set for the 50 cal, I actually ended up putting a metal barrel on it, because the one that I got, the barrel was just bent. So I put a metal barrel on it, so it's nice and straight for the 50 cal. And then for the mount, I actually took this piece right here, the mount from this kit. So I actually cannibalized a piece from this kit for this piece, and it actually fits on here real nice, which we'll get into maybe in the next video. And then this set right here is a nice antenna set for World War II US armored fighting vehicles. So that's going to look really nice on the tank when the time comes. So I think that's pretty much it for this video. I don't know if I forgot anything or not. I hope not. But we're going to keep chugging along here, and if I did forget anything, I'll just catch it up in the next video. But it's really moving along, and I think in the next maybe 1 or 2, maybe even 3 videos, 3 for sure, I think we're going to be pretty much done this project, because you know, we'll throw these pieces on, obviously the stowage gear. We're not going to use all of it. We're going to use a lot of it, but not all of it, because I mean, I don't want this looking like Fury, right? I want this to be our tank. And we'll work with the figures, get them around the fire, have one sitting on the tank somewhere, or 2 on the tank, 2 on the ground, and then obviously the 5th guy will be inside the tank. Maybe I'll buy a 5th one, we'll see. And then that'll obviously be the crew. But there we go. So thanks so much for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. It definitely helps the channel grow, and I look forward to your comments. Thanks. Bye.